Okay, welcome back everybody. We are out on another hike today and we have our mini notebook. I started working on a mini notebook of all of our different plants and herbs. So I don't have all of them with me, but I do have a good chunk of the most common ones that we've been seeing. That way when we come across them, I can give you better information today. But we're out here, again, we're at the school farm. Here we are with Luna. We came out here a little while ago looking for ramps, but that was with the GoPro, and I have been having issues getting that onto my phone because I don't have a computer. So for now, we've been using the phone to record. We still have GoPros and all that, but we are doing what we can. So yeah, we're out here. We're gonna pick up all the garbage we can find. This is actually our foraging basket. We're out here for ramps today. They're like a wild onion, wild garlic. They're well within season right now, and I'm excited to get some. So yeah, here we are. Luna is going to stay tied to me today because there are lots of porcupines out and about. In that last hike, we found quite a bit of sign about them. Yeah. All right, come on, let's go. So actually right here is the first sign of one of our plants. And these are these little guys, the lance-shaped tips. They have these flowers that are always 5 petals. They do range from solid white to solid purple, or like this in between. So you do have like here where they're more white, here where they're more purple. But these are called fairy potatoes or fairy spuds because later in the year they're going to produce a small potato, and it'll grow right in the base down here underneath them. It's too early in the year to pull any up to show you, but there are some lookalikes, but yeah, we'll get into that later in the year. But yeah, fairy spuds. Come on, let's keep going. All right. Here's another good example of one for you guys to see. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Come on this way. Oh, well, we'll stop for a second. Hold on, Luna. So here we have these beautiful leaves of 3 that are super spiky edges. And the stem has what looks like spikes, but feels more like hairs. And it's just one long stem coming out of the ground. It just keeps getting longer and longer, and they kind of bend over themselves. Those are raspberry plants. But what we actually want to look at are these. These yellow flowers here are lilies. So these are trout lilies. The leaves are one of the first lookalikes. When they started coming up, they kind of look like ramps, which we're going to look at. But ramps don't have any of this dark bruising color. But yeah, these are they are edible. People do eat them. If you eat them in excess, people have reported vomiting and headaches, and so there must be something kind of wonky about them. I don't eat them myself, but I did want to show you them, and that's them. When you see these up, you know the ramps are out and about too. When those are up, so are the ramps. We have these beautiful reddish tinge around the outsides of these. These are going to be sugar maples. One little sugar maple tree there amongst all the raspberries. Oh no, come here. Did you get all sorts of tangled up, Boobette? Oh no, look at you. Come here. Yeah, this is why you gotta stay tied to me. That's why we don't do this with a porcupine. Remember that? That's where we were. We were here. Yeah, so a couple years ago, guys, I had her out here with me, and she ran into a porcupine for the first time and decided that she was gonna go over and give it a nice kiss. And it did not appreciate it. So we ended up having to remove a bunch of quills from her snoot. And since then, we have not tested it yet. I'm sure she would have learned, but she can stay with me. It's okay. We can just be buddies out here. That's fine. So we have a couple hours out here. I have basically until dark. My ride's not going to be back until sometime after dark. So no huge rush today. We're going to take a peek at a couple spots and see if we can find any mushrooms. Maybe we'll get lucky, but it's so dry. I'm really doubting it. We need a lot of moisture to maintain mushroom growth, and unfortunately we have not had much at all. This is the first steady sign we actually have had of rain coming, and this, as you see, is not very promising still, but we'll see. Next couple days might get lucky here and get some. We need it. Everything's way too dry. The fire risk is like through the roof. Everything's budding luckily and blooming just fine, but you know, if we don't get enough water here, we're going to start stunting growth. So we need to get some rain going. So what Luna's doing right now, we got this cord, and it's hooked to me, and it's hooked to her, and she's got it pulled tight, and she's pulling me forward as I'm walking. And it's called forward momentum assistance, and it helps with my fatigue. And right now, she does not have her vest on, so she's not in duty, right? She is my service dog. She's not in duty, so she doesn't have to be performing these tasks. You know, she'll be rewarded just the same as if she was on duty, because she definitely doesn't have to be doing this. But, you know, if she decides she wants to come walk down here, she can. But, you know, she seems to really like it, honestly. It seems to be her natural place to want to be all the way out front. Ooh, there goes a bumblebee. Yeah, it's such a beautiful forest in here. Look at these dead trees. We always gotta watch for that stuff. You know, you gotta know where your dead trees are. There's no wind at all, so we're pretty darn safe, but that tree is just waiting to come down. It is just waiting. So in here, we also have to watch for quite a lot of skunks. They are all over the place. And there was one a couple years ago that we ran into right here, and we were coming from that direction this way, and it was coming from the way we're going, and it went into there, and I was suspicious, so we stayed down there for a while longer, and sure enough, it came wandering back out of there and went down that way, and then we got the heck out. But it's not the first one we've seen. I'm sure it won't be the last. I just hope they stay far away, because we don't want them that close to us. We're going to show the folks where we are. Yeah, so check these out. You see how dark these are? These are sugar maples. Those are the maple trees that your maple sugar, maple syrup, and all that good stuff comes from. Okay, so we're there. We're going to go over and cut up here. Yeah, actually, you know what? I think we might. We'll see. Either way, we're gonna get up over here, and we're gonna get along this, and then we're gonna get over into here, and that's where I predict we're gonna find a lot of them. So we have a couple hours. We're very smart this time and got a can of bug spray. That's the only problem this time of year is a lot in our area. A lot of our natural bug repellents aren't in bloom yet, so we're kind of left without. Yeah, but we're going to keep an eye out. There are a couple things we're looking for today. One is kind of controversial. Some people take a little side tour. Some people say it's not edible. It's called bracken, and we'll cover it when we come to it. But I want to show you a couple of things here. So we got these 3, right? And they got that reddish hairy stem. Those are strawberry plants. But then we've got these guys here. I'm going to pick one. They have that very distinct 5 petals that are all kind of folded around each other. Those are violets, and those are edible, and they're great into teas and sugars and things like that. So yeah, it's just middle of the trail. They come along with a big mower and they mow these trails flat. And yeah, it leaves what you see here, and this low growth, it helps a lot of things flourish that aren't flourishing elsewhere. You know what? I feel like we're gonna go up one. We're not going up that side of D. We're gonna split around this side of D. Trail D. It's a very confusing map because the way it's designed is it looks like it's enclosed, right? Like no matter where you go, all the circles or all the trails circle right back out to the beginning. But unfortunately, that is not the case. This actually connects back to the state trail system. So there's actually all sorts of trails that are not on the map that connect to this. So if you think you just have a mental image or an image on your phone of the map and you're walking along, you're looking for a corner, you'll find the corner, but what you won't know is your trail was actually a little tiny side bush that wandered off. Yeah, so here's a good example of why you have to watch for dead limbs. They can be really hard to spot, you know, really hard to spot. So this one split right off. What is completely healthy tree just split right down the middle and dropped to the ground. So it's not always a big limb up there. It's not always the whole tree. Sometimes it's literally the tree splitting itself along the middle and dropping down. All sorts of madness. Oh, all right. Let's take a little peek at this. This log here, yeah, that's too early in the year, but this log here will grow some of our medicinal mushrooms on it. It's probably getting to the end of its mushroom life, but it has been a good log. It has been a good place for some bear's tooth and lots of turkey tail over the years, and you know, a few others out of there. I can't remember all of what. Hold. Check this out, guys. So we got this fir, and it is super wiry. Do you see how it waves back and forth like a wire brush? This is white-tailed deer fur. This comes from their leg or their belly or under their tail or something. But I'm guessing it's down somewhere near their rump because we have a puff of this under fur too. Yeah, there was a fight here. Oh, no, we might find more than just fur here. Looks like the wolves got a hold of a deer. See all this fur? Look at that all. And that is another reason we are on a lead. We're literally right in the middle of the trail system. And there is a sign of a dead deer, and it wasn't coyotes because they don't pack up that much here. They do have their packs, but there's nothing left. The coyotes will scamper what they can. They won't take stuff away from here. They'll eat what they can and leave the rest. They'll definitely leave the stomach and all sorts of things like that. I was out here a week and a half ago and there was nothing. So this deer has been down in the last week and a half and it's completely gone. So I'm thinking that has to be wolves, because wolves will gouge themselves full and then they will carry off what they can. Hey Luna, come here. Let's fit your leash. I know it's annoying, but that's a good proof that you need to stay right where you are, sweetheart. Okay. And I mean, there are some really beautiful, like moss covered, you know, in this case, that is an old stump. They uprooted it from here on the trail and plopped it off to the side to decompose. Here's a downed tree. Let's see. Get you guys back to here normal focus. There we go. That's a little better. I am very new at this whole thing still. Okay, I'm seeing lots of mushroom growth, but it's all very pale, which I'm not going to even worry about approaching it because I'm guessing it's all false turkey tail. If it's anything useful, it's way too young to be actually useful yet. All right. Luna. All right, so we gotta keep going. This next intersection, we're gonna take a right. Part 2. Okay, we've been walking for quite a while, guys. Every now and then we find a little bit of garbage. Go away. Shoo. 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 Oh, okay. Well, I guess we have a stick now, guys. Good enough. Okay. Back to the hike. All right, this is where we turn. So we're in that junction there. We're gonna jump up here. That gate, that white sign right in the middle of the screen there, that is the edge of the school property. So we'll jump off onto the back on the state trails and we'll go from there. Even with this barge spray on, guys, these bugs are nearly unbearable. Like, it's a good thing I got you people out here. Look how many violets are up. They're all over the place right here. Tons and tons of them. It's been a long time since I made any tea from them, but, I mean, any lemonade from them, but it does sound good. Has been a while. Maybe we'll come back and pick some. All right. Okay, guys. So yeah, we just passed that junction right there, and we're coming along, and I walked past them, and then my brain, I was focused on the trail, and then my brain clicked, and I had to come back. I walked right past a patch of ostrich ferns, and they have very edible fiddleheads. So we're gonna look and see. There's all these stemmed out ones. There are probably gonna be a few. Here we go. Oh, that one's right on the edge, but so you see that groove in the middle, and there's really no hairs at all. Yeah, that's an ostrich fern. Ostrich fiddlehead. I'll stick it in there. We gotta sort that all out. We throw all of our garbage in there right until we got something to forage, and then we break out the garbage bag. These ones are starting to loosen up. You want them tightly furled. So we are here right at the tail end of these guys. But we'll get enough to have some dinner tonight, so that'll be nice. That'll be tasty. We get under the trees. Remember that how much light they have determines how fast something grows. So we get here underneath the trees further, and they're not as tall. They're more coiled up still. But now the problem with ostrich ferns is they have to be very established in order to keep growing, because they struggle to get established in new areas. So in our case, that last video, again, the one that you probably aren't going to see, we came through here, and I actually did a couple of shorts from it. It's the one where we found the cool rock, we found the turkey tail along that road that they had all plowed up. Well, we're about to jump onto that system, and what we're seeing here with all the violets and all of the fairy spuds and all of the now ostrich ferns, things like that are because they tore the soil up. It gave that stuff a chance to take root. So there's an ostrich fern. There's a single one coming up there. We don't want to be greedy and take those, but I can smell them now that I've picked them. They're in my bag or in my basket here. I can smell them. They smell fantastic. But yes, the other one that I do cook and eat is called bracken, and a lot of people, it's controversial because it is technically has a toxin, but if you just do a quick parboil on them, it eliminates that. It takes most of it out of there. It's fine. For me anyway. You do your own research, make your own decisions. Come on then. Oh, there's more ostrich ferns here. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, even though if you want to eat our carrot, sweetheart. I know. But you saw the wolf kill too, sweetheart. You gotta stay with me. But yeah, so even though like this has obviously has destroyed a lot of destruction on the system, it's offering other plants to take hold in places that they already, had lost that competition. So in a way, growth comes from destruction. Same way that in order to have new life, we have to have death. You have to have new nutrients, you have to have new space, you have to, there has to be new. And the only way to get that is to get rid of some of the old. And that's how life is. All right, so check these out, guys. We have some deer coming through here. This is when it rained last, so they have been here a while. These ones are newer. It's a couple days old. Maybe last night before. Those ones have been here since the last rain, so they've been here a while. But yeah, deer just moving along these trails because, just like everything else, they prefer to use the easiest path, the most maintained path, and obviously not any of their paths look like this. So they use these because they can, walk along. It provides them with a food source, weirdly enough, because they thrive on a lot of plants, on about 400 species of plants. A lot of them are in low growth areas and or edge growth even, and this is a little bit of both. You get edge growth and low growth right here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see how many mosquitoes and black flies there are out here, but come on, Luna. It is ridiculous. I have bug spray on, so they're like dive bombing me and like lifting off right as soon as they land, but I have to keep my eyes squinted. I just know I'm gonna swallow one of these things at some point here. I just know it's coming. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of new area to check for mushrooms coming up here. There's lots of oyster mushrooms that grow in this area, and since they came through and logged, a lot of this stuff won't be useful for the next couple of years as far as mushrooms go. But coming up, this stuff will be fantastic because it's already on the ground. It'll start rotting away, become perfect mushroom habitat. So some of this stuff, we won't see mushrooms on it for another 5 or 8 years probably, because some of it's pretty fresh and it's relatively green. It's been shoved over and broken halfway off, but still halfway in the ground. So that one's gonna keep fighting. We got more. You see on top of the disturbed piles, you got the ostrich fern coming up right there. It's taking root in the places that destruction already was, because it lost the battle for that hold, so its seeds have been just hanging out there waiting. Now that we're in a situation where it has had some sort of destruction, in this case humans, well, an obvious, a lot of cases, it's humans, and it has given it a chance, so it's got those seeds out and it's establishing an area, and that bush will continue to grow there year after year after year. Whoa. And that bush will then produce a bunch of seeds, and it'll scatter them to the wind, and those seeds they'll sit and take hold, or they'll sit and wait until they have a chance to take hold. And that's what these guys are doing. All right, got a trail marker coming up. Honestly, I'm blazed enough that I'm not 100% sure which trail I'm on currently. I believe we have to turn to the left and go down a little ways and then turn to the right. But, you know, we'll see. If I remember where I'm at, that's where we should go, or should be going. But when I go wandering, I truly just go wandering. I know where I am, like, I don't know, a little over half the time, probably, at least. You know, it's okay. No, this place is actually pretty nice, because even though this trail system like this is going to establish for you, it has a lot of offshoots. It also has this this awesome system where they actually just plucked this off Google Maps and plopped it onto a piece of paper. Wow, that's a big doe. That might be a moose. That might have been a moose. You never know. Never know. All right. So yeah, I think we're correct. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so they just lifted that from Google Maps and plopped it on a piece of white metal and stuck it there. But yeah, we are off the school farm now. We're back on the state property. Yeah, we're still just hiking along, guys, but I wanted to show you they've been logging in here, and these are maples they've pulled out, and you can see why they've pulled some of those. The other ones, they thin it out, because if you don't thin them out, then they start rotting out. But yeah, very fresh cut. You can smell the wood, you can smell the motor oil still from the machinery. Yeah, very recent. What? What is it? What's so interesting? Oh, you gotta do a marking? Oh, you own this whole pile of trees now, Boobette? You own all this lumber now, Luna? Well, you guys heard it. Luna owns this whole pile of lumber now. Oh, man. Well, you had a good trip in the woods today, huh? That's so many sticks you can chew on. Nice pile of lumber. Uh-oh, come here. You're tangled up. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. I'll fix it. Come here. There we go. All right, come on. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Oh, the weather has just been all over the place today, guys. It keeps doing the thing where it clouds way up like this, and it starts threatening to rain, and then it doesn't, and then it kind of breaks up again and separates, and then it does this again, and it just keeps going up and down and up and down, and all my current ill homies are just having a rough day, and I've been just getting my butt kicked bit by bit. But I gotta get out here and get these picked today, because if I don't, then when I head back from the cabin to head home for a couple days, you know, it's gonna be I'll be away for maybe up to a week, or don't know. But what I'm saying is, if I don't get out here and get them now, I'm not sure if I'm gonna. And I've got a lot of people counting on them, so I got my good sized basket today. I've got myself, we've got our buddy John, and we've got our buddy Gary, and we've got some of our elders and dear friends, Becky and Mark, and we just have, just all sorts. So we've got a few other groups, families and friends, and who all could use a little bit of them. So we're gonna come out here, we're gonna pick enough. I'd like to give each family that would like, up to a gallon bags worth of them. Because they can dehydrate them and they can go into soups later. You can even dry them out in your oven. But yeah, they're kind of like a somewhere between onion and with a little garlickiness to it, kind of leek. Yeah, they're really, really nice. I like them quite a bit. And where we're going, they grow so vast. There's so much of it. All right. Nice quiet walk through the woods today. A couple odd encounters with some sign, but that's all right. Gonna have some oddity throughout the day. Yeah, you can see how barren everything is from them coming through here with their machinery. They've got it really opened up. I've had to kind of watch where I'm walking. Normally you don't have to watch too harsh, it's like a broken rock is your danger, but right now with this, there's a lot of other dangerous material that can be on the ground. So I've got to keep an eye on the ground ahead of us. Okay, so here we are. This trail, it has, I don't know if you can see that, but it has these two trees are on their own little island away from the rest of the woods. It's got their pathways on all three sides. And that's our trail marker to go ahead and turn right. And in our case, back to the north. And we're gonna head up here and get off of these plowed trails and back onto the side trails and get away from all of the oils they might have been leaking or who knows what, and get to where we know there's been more serenity and much more guaranteed quality, because we are feeding a lot of people and many of which are elders, so we want to get the best. What you got, Luna? Can we keep moving? These birds are gonna carry me away. Wow, you own this area too? Wow, Luna, you own so much. Oh, you're having a salad? You doing your own foraging? Okay. Don't munch nothing that'll make you sick though, okay? I'll keep an eye on you. You just keep munching the grass like that. All right. Getting a little more away from their destruction here. I don't know if they plan to continue this way. I see a lot of marks, so I think they might plan to go in there and tear the whole area up. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. We have just about made it. We've just about made it to the promised lands. Man, I hope they don't clear cut this far back. They're going to destroy so much ecosystem back here. The ramps are so thick back here, it's like a green carpet of them. We're actually gonna get our shoes on and start going off trail in just a couple minutes here. Oh yeah, there's our first patch. We're gonna go for that one. All right, first things first. We gotta sort out our bag. All right. I brought stuff to give an offering, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get my bag sorted out, and then I will be back with you guys. All right, so we're down to just our fiddleheads in the basket. We've got our garbage just in the bag right now. There wasn't quite enough to justify opening a whole trash bag up, so they're just in the bag in one of the pockets. Come on, Luna, we're going off the trail here. Come on, let's go. We'll go up here. We gotta show the people. There's a big old patch of it right here. So these deep greens here with these reddish bases, these are what we're looking for. Come on. All right, right here. Hold. Yeah, so these right here, if we pick them and we just pull them up and you smell them, they smell like onions. Garlicky. It's so good. You know, they'll come up every year in the same patch. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go through and dig a bunch of these out of here and keep gathering. And when I've got a good bit gathered up, I will come on back and be with you guys again. But I need both hands for now. Appreciate you. All right, guys, so actually before I get going here, I haven't started yet, but before I get going here, I have dug up a couple. I want to show you them in their entirety. So we will just go ahead and we remove the outside layer. This with a little rub, and we can see we get an onion garlic bulb. And yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole plant. We're gonna get a bunch of these, and we're gonna take just a bunch of the tops, because when we dry them out, we're gonna use those, not so much these. But we're gonna get a bunch of both. If we leave these, they'll continue to grow next year, so we don't want to take all of these. But there's a batch here, and as far as you can see, all that deep leafy green patches, those are all ramps. There's thousands and thousands, even more than bugs, surprisingly. Which, as you can see, I dive bomb in the front of the camera every so often. They're crazy. You see that? It's gross. All right, I'm gonna go back and forage. I'll be back. The best way I found to get these ramps up out of the ground is you take a knife that you don't care if you get, you gotta sit down in the dirt, and you dig down. You see how they all kind of flow into a cluster, and it's usually going uphill, so they lean downhill and then sprout up. So all we're going to do is stick our knife in below and make one cut here, come way up here, stick it down, make a cut down across, grab these by the roots and pull nice and firm, and we will slice it right off at the roots or at the base, and it'll leave that base and stem and root system to grow again. And you can get pretty good at this. As you see, I sliced a little too high up still, but some people, they knock off just the bottom. But that's the easiest way to do it, is just once under, once above, just figure out which way they're leaning, because they just cluster and cluster and cluster, and then they grow out and then up. So figure out which way they are coming down to, stick in there and knock yourself a couple out. Okay, everyone, we have got a basket full, and it's a good basket, and it seems like a lot. We only hit 3 patches. This was the last patch here, and that's what all this deep green stuff is. This was the patch we were just in. Can you even see where I was in there? Because I can't. We only hit 3 patches like this, and I can see patches, all over back there. Oh, look at all the flies, hooray. Patches just everywhere. You could come back here and fill a 5-gallon bucket and not even scratch this ecosystem. Not that it's necessarily a good thing to do, but this is why I feel comfortable coming here. And now that I've seen that all these trees, see how there's ones with marks on them and a bunch without? They're coming through and they're cutting. So a lot of this habitat's gonna be ground into the dirt, and I have no idea how that's going to affect these ramps. So I really hope they don't go that far back, because this is an area that you know, we just barely got to the edge of it. I've never actually been to the far end of it. I always venture in a little further every time I go in, but I've never been, you know, to the far back side of it. So I hope they aren't going that far back, wherever that might be, because, you know, it's a resource that we really rely on. We have a lot of elders and just people who are out working really hard. And you know how grocery prices are right now, they're ridiculous. So if someone goes, hey, here's a gallon Ziploc bag full of these amazing fresh leafy greens that are growing wild and hand-picked, you know, normally that would sell for quite a bit of money, but you're just going, here's a gift. I went and got this for you. And, you know, it doesn't seem like much, but, you know, it's the little things that matter. It really is. If you were to buy these from someone, you'd be paying quite a bit of money. Just by the amount of flies out here alone, you know, they are... Here, let's see if it can focus on my hand and see if we can get some of these flies for you here. You see them zipping around? Just zipping and zooping. There's tons of them. Tons and tons and tons. Anyway, we're on our way back out now. We gave our offering. I gave a couple of the fish we caught and smoked over the week. And I brought 3 of the eggs from our chicken coop. And I brought a banana. And I left them as an offering on a very nice stump. But we're back to our spot where, again, there's trails going all the way around this one. So here, we're going to hang a left. We're going to head up that way. Actually, Luna, let's go this way. Come on, let's go this way. We're actually going to go this way and drop around. We got plenty of time. Hour and a half before the sun goes down, which means we have at least an hour before our ride will be here. And we're literally only at this interjunction. So we're going to drop down probably around bottom side of E and come around that side. All right, that's good for you doing that? Yeah? You happy with that idea? You got a stick. Holy heck, that's a nice stick. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yes, come on. Do you want to do some fetch? Want to do some fetch? Come here. Come here. Ready? Whoa. We need a heavier stick than that one, dude. That one's not heavy enough. That one's not heavy enough. There's some garbage. At least it's cardboard. Well, that's not cardboard. Old pair of safety glasses. All right. The only thing I wish this basket had was padding on. It just has a pretty simple rope for a handle, or a strap, I guess would be the best way to put this. But I wish it had some sort of padding on it because it digs into the shoulder quite a bit when it's full. Normally I'm taking this thing mushroom picking, so it doesn't get this heavy. But because we have quite a lot in it right now, it's very full up. Very full up. Here, how about we try a better stick? How about this one? Huh? Do you think you could chase this stick for me? You think you could do this? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Good job! Good job! You're amazing! Good job! Nice catch. All right, you carry it for a little bit, but stay on this trail. You don't leave this trail, you hear me? There's too much going on. Possible moose tracks and a dead deer that's completely gone. Like, no thank you. You stay right close by me. Yeah, as you see, it is a lot of destruction. It really is. Like, there's no denying that part of it. But there are some benefits. One of the greatest benefits being that it lowers our forest fire. Like, if there is a forest fire, it's not as catastrophic. And this is all part of a system that they've been using to keep those numbers down. And it's been working fairly well. Between that and being able to detect where lightning strikes are and the use of drones to inspect spots of lightning strikes, you know, they've been able to decrease our forest fire numbers drastically, which is good because our population numbers are very low still, but they are climbing. So we want to make sure we get all that under wraps because this is not an area where with very many places you can run to. You're kind of out on almost on an island. You know, it very much is a peninsula. If you don't get off on a bridge, you don't get off. Get onto the boat or get on the bridge. You know what? I don't like the feel of this. Let's go back. I don't know. I don't like it. Let's go back. I don't know. I don't like it. Let's go back. Wait for me, please. Wait for me, please. Oh, there's a wind picking up and it feels so nice and it blows away all the little flies because I can't stand up to it. Oh, it is just a little bit of breeze of bliss itself. All right, I better come up with a better carrying solution for this thing when it's heavy like this. It isn't often, but it's often enough that I should have a solution. You gotta carry it, sweetheart. It's really hard to bend over with this big old basket on me. Come on. We're going this way. We're backtracking. We're going backwards. Don't like the vibe down there today. My brain says no. Go back. So we are going back. You think I can? You know what? What if I do, but you have to dance for me? Dance. Do a dance. Do a dance. Do a dance. Man, that was a good dance. That was a good dance. Heck yes, it was. You're so beautiful when you dance. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. All right. Let's keep moving. If you want it, you better carry it. Well, we're back to our trail. Luna, stay close. I might have heard an ATV just now, guys. Way off in the distance. very, very distant. Look at that dead tree, guys. Just leaning. I don't know why they didn't take that down. Or the other, I know why they didn't take the other one down. But there's that dead tree back there. There's all those woodpecker holes in it. Anything be living in there. This one, there's nothing like that. But that one over there's probably something living in it currently. You know, there's probably something always living in that. Eventually it comes down, but they are a resource. So I get why they don't drop them when they're that far away from the trail. But this other guy, I don't know. Oh, well, this side's woodpecker eating. Okay. That makes sense then. Because there's no point in taking down habitat when it's that far off the trail. You shouldn't be. If you're somehow unlucky enough to be back there when that tree falls, then you were there on the wrong day. Very much a wrong time, wrong place kind of moment. Oh, she's got something to sniff about. Can we keep moving? If you want your stick, you carry it. What, do you need to own that stump too? Man, whatever marked it was definitely a male to be up that high. Unless there's a female and jumped all the way up on top. They do that sometimes. Do you see these mosquitoes in that, guys? It's ridiculous. Hey, Luna, I don't mean to rush you, sweetheart, but can we go? Hey, look at it. Here's a really good stick. This is a really nice one. Can you find it? Luna, come here. I'm definitely hearing an ATV right now. Here, hold. I've never run into an ATV back here yet, but sounds like we might. The problem, like, there's nothing wrong with people cruising on ATVs. That's what these trails are for, you know. They're out here to be enjoyed too. But the problem is if you are out to collect beer cans, you're better off to walk these trails than you are to walk the highway, because there's more DUI behind the seats of a 4x4 than there is in a car. So it's kind of scary, you know. So if you hear them coming, there's plenty of room. Get off the trail, get well off, let them go by. You know, they can just go on roaring down the path. We get out of the way and let them go. But I can't tell. These are such a networking like web of trails. It's a pretty old trail system. So like there's an old trail that cuts off that way that's not been maintained in forever. You know, they're just everywhere. So he's off on that side somewhere, buzzing, but I can't tell where to or where from. So we are gonna just go ahead and hang out together. And that's okay because we're getting back into our wolfier area anyway. And we don't need none of that. Right, Luna? We don't need none of that. No, we don't. All right. Making some headway here. Okay, sounds like that ATV is getting further away at this point. So let's hope that's the truth. Because that's the thing with these, is he could really just be turned, and the trails are so windy and twisty that he could be coming right on toward us. Oh, hey. Do I feel rain right now? It might be misting slightly out here. Yeah, we might actually be getting some rain here, guys, finally. This would turn out to be a very truly blessed hike if we get both our ramp basket completely filled and a rain shower out of it. Okay, we're gonna go south here. So we're gonna turn here and go south, and that'll bring us around, and then we can hit up a couple of our mushroom trees. Pretty sure it's too dry and too early for it, but the only way to find out is to go. And this way we get a little more off the path here. Again, they've clear cut this for quite a ways, but it does terminate on this one, so we can actually get pretty far and then get off onto normal trails again. There are some accidental knockdowns like that. There is a spruce laying on the ground right there. So we'll come out here and go over that with a fine-tooth comb and see if we can get any of the cones off of it. I don't know if it's big enough to produce cones yet, but if we get green cones, we can make those into medicine. And that is something we'll be doing this year. You can use the tips too, but for me, I've always found the cones to be more stable. I do know people use white sugar. I do not. I prefer maple sugar or brown sugar, one or the other. Something deep, dark like that. It slows down the rate of the fermentation, because that's what you're doing. Is you're taking the cone, and it has natural yeast on it, and it ferments and it melts the sugar into a syrup, and that leaches everything out of the cone. And they're super high in vitamin C, and they're extremely good for scratchy throats. It's our go-to for, like I said, scratchy throats, coughs, colds, flus, that sort of thing. It is not pregnancy safe, so that's something to keep aware of. And the best you can get is blue spruce, which these are not. It looks like that, but it has a grayish blue hue to it. When we find one, I'll definitely be putting a short up. So, hang out and hang around, and you'll get to learn a whole lot of whatever nonsense I random my way into. The one nice part about these being thinned out is it used to be all overgrown like this, like super, super thick. And the issue is you would be walking through that and meandering your way through, and you'd nearly walk your way into like a wasp hive, because they grow into the clusters of trees. They just find a cluster, and it's usually about face height or chest height or above your head. But they just grow it in between 2, 3, 4 trees, and they're huge. And the amount of times I have looked up to be close enough to see the entrances and exits of the hive has been far too many. All right, guys, a couple of plants, and then we're gonna get this phone off and conserve our battery. Luna and I will get on the trail. If we find anything new, I'll definitely pull you guys back out and get it filmed on right here. But I wanted to stop and go over this one more time. So we got these guys. They got that bruised looking leaf, the yellow droopy flowers, and those are trout lilies. They are edible, but they do make some people throw up. And if you eat too much of it, it does make people throw up with nauseous and headache and whatnot. So I don't eat them myself, but some people do report to. And then we got these little guys right here, and we'll be studying those later in the years. And those are later in this year, and those are fairy spuds. They're little wild potatoes. Okay, we're gonna just keep walking. Anything new or interesting happens, if I see anything at all, I'll be right back on. If not, we'll see you when you get back to the road, guys. I appreciate you coming along. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. You deserve it. All right, guys, and with that, just getting past that gate, we are back out to the parking space, the parking lots, and the field where they sometimes farm, sometimes don't. But yeah, this is a school farm. That pond that we will regular is way down there. We're gonna fish that this year several different ways and see if there's anything in it. I suspect there not to be anything large in it, but we'll see. We'll find out. But yeah, Luna and I are gonna walk our way toward the house and see if we can't get to the house before our ride gets to us. But if not, then it is what it is. Nice slow walk won't hurt me. And Luna doesn't mind, right, Luna? Yeah. Okay, you all. I appreciate you hanging out. Oh, you know what? We're gonna actually do one more real quick one here. Look at this. This tree here. So it has these ovalish leaves that have the reddish tint to them, and it's hard to pick up on camera, but they have these razor edges. Can you see those? And when flattened out, it has that spear tip shape to them. They grow along the base of other trees. They don't really grow on their own. They're like basing on other trees' growth. And they have these beautiful white flowers. And this is a serviceberry tree. And they are absolutely amazing. They grow very early and they blossom very early. And they're absolutely fantastic. And we will hit them up later in the year when they have grown. So you can see it's growing in the shade of all these maples. And yeah, we're gonna hit up those later this year too. Those are service berries. We have them all over the place. The bark looks identical to maple, so it does get very confusing, but they are service berries. Okay, everybody, I appreciate you, and you all be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. I know I've said it once before already, but it doesn't harm to remind, because it's something we are all not that good at doing, honestly. We could all learn to be a little better, to be kind to ourselves and others around us. You know, it doesn't cost anything to do with such. Okay, appreciate you all watching. Luna and I got a long walk. Hey, Luna. Hey, Tim, say bye. Say bye. Oh, no? Oh, the flies are back. We gotta go. All right, bye all. Thank you. See you all next time.